Before we start today's insightful video, please head over to our Patreon and grab our highly marketable mockups. We all know mockups are a must-have if you're trying to grow a t-shirt business or a clothing line. And with the ability to show off your art, you can finally live the life you want. Be sure you check it out so you can download all the past, present, and future mockups. And thank you for your support. The link is in the bio.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason.
Eudaimonia is the state of being fulfilled. It's fulfillment. You're answering your problems with its needs. That's how you get to where you have to be. Instead of you saying, oh, I want to get to happiness and stuff like that, I want to be happy. They say, no, answer your problems here today. Answer what you have, what's stopping you from today to get into tomorrow. Get those done now and you'll be able to go where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to do the things you want to do and stuff like that. Eudaimonia was the stoic approach of fulfilling your actual destiny. Everybody wants to start a business, but they don't ever take the good steps. You were to take your advertising and your marketing just a little bit more serious, just that much more serious. Not only competitive against bigger companies and stuff like that, but now you're actually putting things out there that's going to help you get to where you need to be. When I create mockups, it's not to, yes, to get you to your happiness, but it's also a sense of fulfillment for your business. So whenever you get the mockups from Patreon or whatnot, you go and download it. You're using those as a way, a means to fulfill what you guys probably would be missing out on, which would be basically a good t-shirt design. Because if you ever thought that your t-shirt design was not good, if you ever sat back and was like, this is not good enough, like it's not selling because it's not good enough. You ever thought that? Hold on. If you ever thought that your t-shirts was just not good enough, you know what I'm saying, but you know that you spent good money or you did whatever you had to do to make it look good. If you ever thought that way, it wasn't the t-shirt design, it was the mock-up itself. I look at Spreadshirts all day. Like we just did this review, like at Spreadshirts. I look at Teesprings, you know what I'm saying? I look at just things that people would use to make a quick dollar, and they don't really think that, you know, they have to put much into it. They just make it and then the platform will sell it for them. No, it's not going to work that way. You got to fulfill certain things. You got to check the box. You got to make a nice website. Okay. You got to have nice mockups. Okay. You can't just have the Spreadshirt mockups on your website. You know what I'm saying? You got to have nice advertising, which we've been doing in these mockups already. You know what I'm saying? We make the mockup that looks good enough for your advertisements. And this is what we're going to do here today. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. I'm just rambling at this point in time. All right, so here I am and I'm in, and there's also a delay here, you guys. So if I get to sounding like I'm off or whatnot, I'll probably just do a zoom in on the video. But even that might not happen right because it's wire. It's a wire going from the iPad to the screen, the computer screen, which is awesome. It was just a little bit delayed. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a mask on this and of course zoom in with a brush, and I would do the same thing I would do in Photoshop, except you know what? You know, we're just gonna use the brush now and just do it like that. So just kind of brush out some of these imperfections and stuff like that. Well, not imperfections, but just the shirt itself, because you know, this is how we roll, you know what I mean? Now, I specifically chose a cream shirt, but I could have used a white shirt. It's just white nowadays because, I don't know, I think most companies are just trying to get away from that whole putting white t-shirts out. So I'm going to start buying some white t-shirts and taking pictures with them through photography and stuff like that. And, you know, hire a photographer. That's the real goal. It's just to hire a team of creatives, like a photographer, a cinematographer, 2 graphic designers that know what I do, so they know what they're doing. Like, you know, we can put out We're Loyal again, and We're Loyal will be specifically for making t-shirts, mockups. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually kind of want to move away from doing, you know, 2D stuff and making 3D. I actually want to move away from doing 3D whenever we do get the chance of doing 3D. Moving away from 3D and getting the AR. But okay, so now that we got this out, all I have to do is just, you know, drag and drop that there, and it just takes everything out. See more of the simpleness of just having Procreate is that I can just do something a little bit like that always, you know. So I'm gonna take and duplicate this layer, turn these off, and I'm gonna put these into a group and flatten. Right? Now I can go to saturation and drop the saturation down to make it white. Super simple, barely, you're not even hard to do. Like, that was easy, right? And now I can drop in maybe a nice black that I can, if I'm correct, this right here, clipping mask, and let me see, because I can't see it like this, a 95-ish. Let's just do a 95, and I can just drop in different colors real quick. So that's pink. Okay, that is a pink. That was not supposed to be a pink. That was supposed to be a yellow. But now that I see that it's like that, let's see. I'm gonna do a 95 again. We'll do. Oh, duh. Let's go back. So we're gonna go back to our light. Yeah, it gives us that pink, right? Duplicate this layer, and then on top of it, multiply. There we go. Super simple. That was barely an inconvenience. You see what I'm saying? Like, change color layer. It's so easy. It doesn't take that long. You know, we'll call this color. Cool. And then we can just go up in here and change colors as much as we want. Right? So let's just say I want this highlighter green. Boom. Let's just say I want this black. Boom. I think I want to change this from 95 to like 98. 98, 99. Matter of fact, I can just go 100 again. Let's just do 100. Okay? So we ain't got to miss out on nothing. Yellow, brown, green, blue. Yes. Salmon. That cream that we just left. Oh, that's white. I'm trying to get that cream color back. Boom, cream on the inside, cream on the outside. Let's see. But we're gonna go back on black, and I left the black at 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, show me anywhere on a Photoshop that can do that, please. All right, so I got the design, and the design is right here. Okay, so all I gotta do is just line it up, put it there like so. You know, this was also one that I did that's on Patreon, so you guys can pick that up too. Like, Patreon, my Patreon page is just low key. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people understood when I said that Patreon was like smacking, but it is. So let me see if I remember correctly. Now, I haven't. The only reason why I'm talking about if I remember correctly is because when it comes down to making a mock-up here, if I was going to continue to make stuff on Procreate, if that makes sense, right? Like, when I started making stuff on Procreate, I was like, how valuable or viable is this, you know? And a lot of the times, not too viable. It was more of a well, let's just see what we can do type of situation that grew into a, okay, I like this. I like what we're doing here. As you can see, you know, I'm having just a little, not a lot of troubles, but here's the thing. When it comes down to using the opacity layers and stuff like that, now you're not gonna be able to just throw something on top of here like I would if we were in Photoshop. Like, I'm not doing Photoshop right now, but let me say it again. Unless you're on Photoshop, you're not just gonna be able to throw something on top and be like, okay. So you have to brush in the actual shadows, okay? As you guys see that I'm doing right here, I'm brushing the shadows in. I wanna make sure that whatever we get is gonna look right. All I gotta do now is just blur just a little bit, so it doesn't look like, you know, just scribbles all over the design. And what does it do? Gives us some more of them dimensions, as you can see. If I was to go press hard down on these, so I'm gonna try it again actually. So let me show you guys like this, so you guys don't see like, oh, this is crazy. Right off. This is on. It's off. On. Off. On. Yep. That looks good. It has the right amount of wrinkles. that shows that the design is real, okay? Even though it might not be. But now that we got that, I have to go back in and bring in the shadows as well. So let's drop in this black. Not the shadows, but the highlights, okay? And I'm going to turn off the design. All right, and everywhere I see a bit of gray and not black, it's not black, it's gray, I'm going to change that to a highlight. Okay, so we'll take a white here and do the same technique, except make it that much there and that much there. So go in like this, because highlights matter. Just because we got shadows don't mean that the highlights don't matter, right? And I've learned this technique. I guess I kind of learned this technique right here from just being a photographer, because, you know, fun fact, before I really got into, like, you know, design and stuff like that. Well, I wouldn't say before. It was more like, wow. While I was getting into design and stuff like that, I was doing photography as well. Like, I wanted to be a photographer for my school at Lincoln University. I thought that, yo, that would be super dope, extra dope, right? To be a photographer. And didn't happen. Didn't happen necessarily the way I wanted it to happen. Okay, so now you guys can see what's happening. So let's put this shirt back on, right? It didn't happen necessarily the way I wanted it to. Here, we'll put it there, even though that's not where I want it to go. Let's move it back up like this. So now it's specifically on stuff. Okay, or maybe I should take it off. I'm gonna take it off first, and then let's put it back up. And as you can see, there's kind of like some hard spots. Oh shoot, messed up. Let's just hit the back button. Hit the back button. I'm like I said, I'm giving you guys the raw, you feel me? And we'll do it like this. How about overlay? Because you still get the hard spots. You still get that, you know, look, and it's just overlaid on top. So now when I put the design back on, there we go. And then to lock it all in, I'll put a multiply layer up on the design portion of all this. So what we're gonna do is well, I can't do a clip and mask here, but this is basically, with that being said and done, the easiest way of making a t-shirt mock-up, a realistic looking t-shirt mock-up off of Procreate. And if I just change the color, let's just say the background color to this white instead, or, you know, I think they use, like, everywhere else they kind of use kind of like a this kind of thing, this kind of scenario, you know what I mean? You got it, you know? But I'm not gonna leave all of this stuff here in a group like that. We're gonna group them all together. We'll call this what is it? Locked? Not licked, locked. And then let's see, we'll lock it. So that can't be manipulated. It's locked in. Okay. And we'll call this design, right? Drop design here. And of course the design is already there. So we got that there already. And yeah, that is basic. I'm talking about basic, right? And if I wanted to just go ahead and export it out to take that mug into Photoshop, we just hit down that gear right there, share, and put PSD. I would then, you know, well, I'm gonna just do it now so you guys can see. Yeah, I mean, it's not done yet because, you know, it's not done yet, but I'll just airdrop it to my Mac. I want to make like a cool effect, and I'm not sure, you know, if I ever done this before. I mean, I've done it before on like my, you know, my mockups, because I do mockups here, but we're going to just kind of make a nice little effect. So I'm gonna do something like this, and we'll turn it off, and then I'll do another one that's like Not pink though. Let's do red. Do something like this. I just kind of want to make like a nice little design, you know. So we'll do something like this. Scale it down. Snapping is on, right? Yeah. Matter of fact, let's reset that, because I wasn't happy about how I did that. Cool, snapping. All right, and now that renders this one kind of like useless, but snapping. Okay, and I'll turn this one white. So super simple, barely inconvenience. Group them together, merge them, flatten them down. Okay, and we'll duplicate those two. Boom, slap them down like that, and merge down. Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. But with these two, going to do something a little bit like this. All right, kind of give me that Vans checkerboard kind of like pattern. You know what I mean? That they're so famous for, infamous for. It's kind of what I'm looking for, you know. And we'll merge those down. And as a matter of fact, I'll merge these two down too. That's not a problem. So I'll merge down this too. Let's duplicate. Let's duplicate. Okay. Cool. And then I'll size it back down like so. That's the thing about like, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I'm like a creative or whatnot. But one thing I really do enjoy when it comes down to Procreate is just how creative I can get. How the creative control here that I have. It's not to be played with. It's not. It's like, I mean, it is to be played with, but it's like, yo, like, you can do so much. You can absolutely do so much here. You do something like that, man. You know, some off the wall stuff. But it doesn't stop there. No, it don't. I'm gonna take my Mockup, which I'll rename Mockup. Ooh, gotta unlock. Yes, we're gonna unlock those. Oh yeah, I have to unlock. Okay, cool. So now we got that, and I'll move it over here like so. As a matter of fact, drop it low. Oh, now I kind of feel like I shouldn't have deleted that one layer. Because now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this like this and do some creative stuff here. Okay, so here we go. I got this guy right here, and he's ready to get put into this Mockup, and I'll do something like this. You know, hopefully that did not fill the whole screen like I thought it was. There we go. Cool. Now I'm gonna turn off the Mockup, and I'm gonna turn off this, and I'm gonna turn off this, because that's what I need, but I'm not gonna work with them right now. Okay, I'm gonna take the mask, and I'm just gonna cut this guy out. Now, see, once again, unmatched. You know what I'm saying? Like a Photoshop could never. I'm just keeping it real. A Photoshop could never. Okay. Look how simple it is. Just when you got a brush, and you can just brush away the stuff that you don't like. If you want to go tight, you can go tight. If you want to do like not a hard edge, you don't brush hard, you know? You just brush soft. Okay, so you guys, so this cutout right here is basically the same one that I was doing with the other one. It's just in this one I have to cut out the guy and the clothes. So it's like I cut out the guy first and then I cut out the clothes, and I do get kind of like messed up in the middle of this, because it's like, you know, once you cut out the clothes and the guy, the shadows from the guy that's from the clothes is still on there. So I was getting a little bit of confusion, you know, going on with this. Just a little bit of confusion going on with it. But as you continue to build it out and continue to cut it, you start to see that, you know, you can almost, a lot of the times what I was doing here was I was softly doing it, so like it went through better, you know. And that's the only tip I can give you guys. It's like the shadow's gonna be there, just kind of softly brush it, and you know, the more times you do a soft brush stroke, the better you'll get that shadow out. But it'll still be there, but it's not as harsh as it would look like. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to take into when you do this one. How about this? Because there is something here that I'm kind of like avoiding, because I kind of always do it at the end, but all the more time to do it now, which is to take a brush, is it a spray paint brush, texture brush? Hold on, where is it at? Abstracts, charcoal, elements, noise brush. There we go. Take a noise brush, okay, and throw that on the overlay. Make some noise. But yeah, pretty cool thing here. Let's put some text. We'll say something like text white quartz or something like that. And I'll say something like that. Right? I have to clean up, so we'll put this as mock-up. Okay, so people can go in and be like, okay, that's the mock-up. Mock-up stays intact. We can delete this, group these, and delete that, and we'll call this fine. We'll say this text. Okay, element, drop design here, because okay, these onto the man. So when somebody comes on here, they be like, mock-up, cool. Only one problem. We got this here, and we'll call this drop design. Cool. Like, that works out. How you guys feel about that? That looks pretty cool. Looks pretty stable. His hair is a little blue. I'm not sure if I'm liking that blue hair. We got the man made. We got the t-shirt made. So what I'm going to do now is some effects. So the man is made. I'm going to put that on here, and we're going to color. Yeah, I'm gonna do some cool stuff now. Some me things. Right? Like, hold on. There we go. Actually, let's use a different brush. Just want to look at it real quick. Let's take out this. I don't have to have that there. That's fine. We'll do it like this. As a matter of fact, I want to change the color of that. I want to put like some burn marks on the t-shirt. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this in actually, and flip it, because I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this one already. I've used it before. Okay, matter of fact, no, we're gonna bring it up above here, and I want to see what if I put a mask on it. Right, let's do something like this. I put a mask on it, paint out just this here, right? Actually, just this here. Okay, cool. So yeah, I do. Paste that down, flip it and reverse it. Is yours from the nipples and a nasty what? Or something like that. I don't know, whatever she says. But we're gonna put that on the overlay. Honestly, I'm gonna, instead of using the anything else, well, maybe I should. No, let's just use the mask. But for all purposes of this, like, don't really need to use the mask. Okay, so we're gonna do this here like that. Do that there like that. Do that thing. Bang, bang, bang. Do that thing. All right, and then we'll make the cardboard of this cardboard color. And like I said, there was some inspiration from somewhere else that I got this from, but I like it like this. Okay, I'm just scrolling through, you guys. One thing about graphic design is that there's always different ways of getting something. Okay, we're just gonna go back to normal. Let me go back to invert, and I think I liked it like this, honestly. So yeah, if we go back here and I turn off this white layer, I like it like that. It looks so much smoother this way, to me. To me, it looks smoother. So we'll do something like that. Yep, I like it. And yeah, this is something that you guys can just throw up on Instagram on a high note. Right? And it goes perfectly with the one that I pulled it from. Okay, so these effects, I pulled it from somewhere else. All right. And matter of fact, I'll just pull in one more element from that mockup. We'll just call this a part 2. So we'll just drop that there, and then let's see if I can just call it a part 2. Right? And yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it for it to go. So okay, so we'll just add like a shadowing, so like people know that like maybe this is above and not below. Okay, so we got that above shadowing right there. Also needs to go into a lock layer, so that's why I always do this. Like I always do this here to make sure it all just fits. Okay, so locked. You have the text at the top that you guys can just turn on and off if you want. Can't mess with this lock layer, but if you want to change that t-shirt, you hit the t-shirt down and you go into Mockup and you go into color, and let's just say you want to change the color of it. Boom, you can change it to yellow if you want to. Bam, it's yellow. Okay. Okay, so maybe I want to change the color of the guy, the mock-up of the guy, right? So we just go to this, we go to color, and you go down to drop color, and you hit that same yellow, and you know what? That's where we need to make sure that the locked layer doesn't affect. Put a mask on it. If you like it, you should have put a mask on it. So now those match. So boom, as you can see, the design is moving with the wrinkles. I think you guys can basically use this one to do the things that you want with it. I think this one looks pretty good. Now, like I am going to do, I'm going to send this from here to Photoshop where I can make those smart. Everybody knows how I do it. We'll knock this in like this, and we'll call this one to click for change art, and then we'll double click here. Because I'm not going too elaborative on this, we'll just do something like this. Drop design here. Can't move forward unless it gets saved. Go back over here to this, and now that's there. I'm gonna take this out. All the stuff in that lock layer that I put out already is still there. Okay, it's still there. So we can always come back and change up the coloring and all that stuff. We can do all that, right? Like, let's say I want to change this from there to blue. Okay, it's just a different process on that. This the same design that you get from the Procreate version. It's just, you know, you're on my Photoshop, and the Photoshop, I know I'll be making fun of Photoshop like a Photoshop could never, but look at how fluid that is coming from Procreate. I like that. Right, so I'm gonna delete out this design element, and we're gonna save this one. Okay, and all right, you guys, so this one is basically just a repeat of what I just did with this t-shirt before it. So it's like, you know, I'm just gonna go in, make sure that everything is locked down, that it has to be locked, stuff has to be locked because it was locked, and I need to make sure that it's functional, so change the colors and all that stuff. But the one thing that I need to do the most is make sure that I can put a design on top of it. So we have to create the design layer, basically make sure that people know where to put the design at, so we make it smart, and then we delete out the other layer and just put everything in its right place, and that's basically it, you know. So that's all I have for you guys today. So I like the fact that you can do that with both of these. It just works out that much better for me. You know what I'm saying? Not that it works out better for you guys the same, you know, like I hope that if you guys are using this, it doesn't matter if you're on Photoshop or if you're on Procreate, you're going to get a good turnout. Okay. Like you're going to get a great turnout with this one. You get both of them, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, you guys, this was it for the very first everyday mock-up. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys can use it. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. It's on Patreon if you guys need it. Link is in the description or in the comment section. So you guys, all you have to do is just click and grab. But with that being said, you guys, hope you like it. I'm getting up out of here. It's past my bedtime. Peace. Stay amazing. Wait, I gotta say this thing. Stay amazing. Stay creative. Above all else, stay awesome.